Hey everyone, welcome back to Unlock English Podcast. I'm Quinn.
And I'm Miley. So today we've got a fun and super interesting topic for you all. Can you really learn English while you sleep?
Sounds like a dream come true, right? Imagine going to bed one night and when you wake up, you're suddenly fluent in English.
Well, as amazing as that sounds, we're here to dive into whether or not that's possible. We're not saying it's that easy, but there's definitely more to sleep and language learning than you might think.
So grab your pillow and blanket because we're going to explore the science behind learning while you sleep and how it could actually help you improve your English.
All right, let's start with some science. Can sleep actually help you learn a language?
Well, first of all, your brain is incredibly active while you sleep. In fact, sleep is essential for memory consolidation, the process where your brain takes what you learned during the day and stores it for later use.
Exactly. So if you study English right before you sleep, your brain has a chance to reinforce those words, phrases, and grammar rules while you're in dreamland. It's like your brain is doing some extra homework for you while you snooze.
And there's research to back this up. Studies have shown that sleeping after learning something can improve recall and help your brain better retain information.
And here's the big but. Just listening to English while you sleep isn't going to magically make you fluent. It's a bit more complicated than that.
So, how can you actually use sleep to improve your English? Let's talk about a few techniques that might help.
One of the best ways to use sleep for language learning is to study right before you go to bed. When you sleep, your brain consolidates memories, making it easier to remember what you've learned the next day.
That's right. For example, you could spend 30 minutes listening to an English podcast or reviewing vocabulary before sleep. That way, while you're snoozing, your brain can strengthen those connections and help you remember them better.
Exactly. Think of it as your brain's final chance to organize everything you've learned that day. It's like hitting the save button before you turn off your computer.
And don't be afraid to review right before sleep. It's actually a great way to make sure that your brain really nails down those words and phrases. The brain tends to retain information better when you review it just before sleeping.
It's like giving your brain a little nighttime workout. So you wake up feeling more confident with what you've learned.
Now, here's a trick that some people try: listening to English audio while you sleep. This could be anything from podcasts, vocabulary lists, or even English songs.
Some studies suggest that listening to language while you sleep might help reinforce words and phrases, especially if you've already learned them during the day. It's like your brain hears the words again and gets a refresher while you're resting.
Yep. You're essentially giving your brain a mini review session while you're dreaming about something else. Imagine playing an English podcast or vocabulary list in the background. Your brain is still passively absorbing the sounds, and over time, it can help improve recognition of words.
But let's be real. It's not like you're going to wake up fluent just by playing English audio on a loop while you sleep. You have to be actively engaged when you're awake, too. It's not a magic trick, but a useful tool to reinforce your learning while you're resting.
Exactly. It's more of a supplement to your active learning during the day. Think of it like listening to your favorite song on repeat. It can get stuck in your head, but you still need to pay attention to it during the day if you want to learn the lyrics.
This one's a bit more out there, but still fun to talk about. Hypnopedia, or sleep learning, is the idea that you can learn new information while you sleep.
Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But some researchers have experimented with playing foreign language recordings during sleep and found that it can help with things like vocabulary retention, especially if you're already familiar with the material.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The theory is that when you're in deep sleep, your brain is still processing information, and if you're exposed to language during this time, it might help reinforce things you've already learned.
But again, sleep learning can't replace active studying. It's just a helpful addition to your learning routine. If you're starting fresh with a language, you still need to engage with it actively while awake. Think of hypnopedia as a little boost for the work you've already put in.
Right. It's like your brain is getting extra practice while you sleep, but it's not going to do all the work for you. You still have to put in the effort during the day.
So, to wrap it up, sleep can be a powerful tool for language learning if used the right way. Make sure to study before bed, listen to English audio while you sleep, and maybe try some hypnopedia techniques if you're feeling adventurous.
Just remember, sleep isn't a replacement for active learning. It's a fantastic supplement to what you're already doing. So if you can, try incorporating these techniques into your language learning routine and see how it works for you.
Sweet dreams of English vocabulary, everyone. Now, let's get into the benefits and limitations of using sleep as part of your language learning strategy.
As we mentioned earlier, sleep is crucial for memory consolidation. When you sleep after learning new English words or phrases, your brain is more likely to remember them in the long term.
So, sleep helps reinforce what you've already learned. It's like hitting the save button on your brain.
Listening to English audio while you sleep may help your brain familiarize itself with the rhythm, intonation, and sounds of English. This could eventually help you improve your listening skills and even your pronunciation.
Yep. So, if you have trouble understanding fast speakers or have difficulty pronouncing words correctly, listening to English audio during sleep could help your brain absorb those patterns.
As much as we'd love to believe we can learn just by sleeping, passive learning during sleep isn't a replacement for active study. You still need to practice speaking, reading, and writing during the day to make real progress.
Exactly. Sleep can help reinforce your learning, but it won't teach you anything new while you're completely unconscious.
If you're playing audio all night, it's important to make sure it's not disturbing your quality of sleep. Good sleep is essential for memory, so if the audio keeps you up or interrupts your rest, it might do more harm than good.
Yeah, it's all about balance. If you're too tired or stressed, your brain won't be able to process or store any of the information from the day. So, how can you use sleep to boost your English without overcomplicating things? Here are some practical tips.
As we mentioned, one of the easiest ways to use sleep for language learning is to do a quick review of your vocabulary or grammar before bed. That way, your brain can lock in that information while you sleep.
Make sure your pre-sleep study session isn't too stressful. You don't want to be cramming new material right before bed. That might just keep you awake.
A relaxing routine like listening to a podcast in English or reviewing a few flashcards is perfect for helping your brain relax while reinforcing what you've learned.
If you're feeling adventurous, try listening to English audio while you sleep. Start with something you're already familiar with, like a podcast you've listened to before. This will help your brain focus on the content without being overwhelmed.
But remember, this should be an extra tool in your language learning toolbox, not your main strategy.
So, can you really learn English while you sleep? Well, kind of.
The real secret is that sleep can help reinforce what you've already learned. But active studying during the day is still key to improving your language skills.
Exactly. Sleep can't replace hard work, but it can make that hard work more effective.
So tonight, try reviewing your vocabulary, listening to English audio, and letting your brain do some extra work while you sleep. Who knows? You might wake up with a fresh English word or two in your memory.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends who want to unlock their English, even in their sleep.
Catch you next time and sweet dreams.